embedded or transfer into machines. So it's so in a real in layman form, artificial intelligence is the transmissions of human intelligence into machine, meaning that what I know, I can be able to castigate it into machine. And why are we castigating our knowledge into machine? Is to make it to be more easier, because with machine you can be able to reach the destination that human cannot be able to operate. So artificial intelligence, it is the transmission of human knowledge into machine to make job to be more easier for mankind.
And in today's usage now, like I said earlier on, I'll get your picture, my picture, turn it into a video. That's the phone. Is that the way to go in the usage of AI?
First,
that's an instance.
Yes. So first, artificial intelligence is not a discussion that is coming up now. It is a conversation that for more than almost a decade has been in existence. But why is artificial intelligence taking the center stage? It's taking the center stage because a lot of developed nations have seen the need for them to be able to leverage on technology. But back to your questions, artificial intelligence basically, as I said, is a transmission of the human intelligence into machine, where it is meant to help mankind solve issues. But again, there are a lot of there are do's and there are don'ts, and the do's are the good aspect of usage of this artificial intelligence to solve issues. Then the don't is what we call data breach, and data breach means artificial intelligence data identity. The data identity is where what you said, where someone can pick your voice, pick your image, and then work with it. And so there's a lot that need to be done, which we need to have data centers. We need to also have people trained for them to be able to nip most of this controversy that is being confronted with the advancement of artificial intelligence. But again, as I said, artificial intelligence is meant to aid or to add value to mankind. But there are also the do's and the don'ts of use of artificial intelligence. So it is not an avenue for us to begin to look at the disadvantage, but look at the advantage of it. And the disadvantage can only be nipped if people are well trained, they are structured, and government take full responsibility to have the data center. For example, during this COVID-19 or this Ebola virus of a thing, surprisingly, we were not having the data. Even the HIV, if you find the history of HIV, it was from what the Americans that were able to tell us that this virus exists in Africa. But it's not assuming from Africa they have gotten they had the right data. They come here, manipulate, and then get the needed data set. And so the artificial intelligence data identity is where government, institution, individuals must invest in data center so that we can have control of the data, the kind of data. And that is why even as a user of those artificial intelligence platform, you need to also know the right platform you are using, and at the same time, again, the limitation of your data identity.
All right, before we go deep on that, now, what would be your assessment of our understanding or practical understanding? Are we really appreciating the usage of AI that's supposed to aid leadership, the future of leadership, governance, entrepreneurship? What would be your assessment of our understanding and usage of AI to be able to grow in these areas I have enumerated?
So the usage of artificial intelligence Technology basically is meant to shape the way we think, the way we do, the way we solve issues. And artificial intelligence is one of the emerging technology. It is not just the only technology that is, that we are compelled to make use of. Before artificial intelligence became, popular or people we get to, we have what we call like the Web3, which is what the blockchain technology, which is one of the most secure platform that if our government are deliberate about securing transactions, security and what have you, they can be able to leverage on that technology itself. Now, artificial intelligence itself is also one of the emerging technology. And for the question you just raised, are our leaders, are the business people, are community stakeholders, are they leveraging on the emerging technology to solve issues, especially in Nigeria and especially in Plateau State? The answer to me is no. And why did I say no? Because there's a lot of challenges that we are being confronted with. And those challenges is because of the deliberate lack of applications of this emerging technology to solve the social issues. If the state government, stakeholders are leveraging on artificial intelligence, first and foremost, I will tell you, insecurity will be solved. If the government and the citizens also are leveraging on technology to solve issues, businesses will thrive. If, communities are also leveraging on technology, a child from an underserved community will have opportunity for his or her voice to be heard globally based on the skill set that they are going to be exposed and they will have access to. Because today we are living in a world of the knowledge economy, and the knowledge economy is about the skill set of what people have. What can you bring to the table? And so the deployment of artificial intelligence, as I said, is meant to solve issues, not to compound or complicate issues. And so for us to be able to get the dividend or the benefit of technological penetration in our state, in our communities, and in our nation itself, we must also be able to measure up. And measuring up is that our leaders first must align themselves with the technological trend. Business people must also align themselves with the technological trend. And then communities leaders too must also align themselves with the technological trend. You cannot be able to provide the needed leadership or business services in the era of artificial intelligence when you yourself, you have not been able to align yourself. Technology built without people who are competent or have the needed technical know-how to use it is useless. But the technology built with people who have vast knowledge about it will be able to provide the needed services and solution to it.
We recently had the All Africa Leadership Summit in Kigali 2026. You were one of the keynote address. You delivered some keynote address over there in Kigali. The focus, of course, was on the future of leadership, governance, entrepreneurship, and technology in Africa. If you'd have to measure from your interaction with Africans from North, West, South, East, and Central, how would you rate Nigeria in terms of appreciating and putting into practice this use of technology that you're talking about?
Okay, so from the All African Leadership Summit that was held in Kigali, Rwanda, which I was one of the speakers, were two that were from Nigeria, myself and one doctor who is also a lecturer in NIPS. And although he's a Lagosian, and I'm the only one from Plateau State. And we have leaders cut across, I think, about 54 countries who came for that leadership summit. And from the discussion that we had, it is so frustrating to see that other African countries, especially like Rwanda, with a population of 14 million plus, you know, they don't have the mineral resources that Nigeria have or Plateau State have. They don't even have possibly, you know, the needed land for them to be able to, fertile soil for them to be able to farm their agricultural produce. Most of the things they import it into their country and the rest of it. But again, looking at that country, how structured, disciplined, organized, the leadership of excellence that is being, you know, that is being displayed, and then looking at home, Plateau State, looking at Nigeria, with all the resources that we have, with all the so-called, you know, the leaders that we have, that they have been exposed, that they have, most of them even school outside or abroad, that they are exposed to this technological trend and the rest of it, only for us to be deceived, to see that instead of them bringing that change of growth, they are bringing the change of poor leadership, bringing the change of social injustice, bringing the change of leadership failure, insecurity. But looking at those who come, people from, in short, as far as, you know, what I saw, just a country, just Kenya here, their leadership structures is clear. People go to bed and sleep without having any issues. Communities, even in terms of road infrastructures, everywhere is taken care of, and the citizens have sense of belonging. The citizens are not willing to leave their country to another country because their government are deliberate about leadership.
So no jackpot syndrome.
I'm telling you. You understand? Rather, they are asking people to come and invest in their country because they have been able to secure their country. They have been able to provide all the needed social amenities. And that is why, you know, their country are doing not just extremely well, but they are attracting global and international investors. If somebody will come from Florida, somebody will come from USA or from India, and is saying that he or she want to establish his office, or this place has given him or she a peace of mind, you should imagine what it is. The experience is not an experience that can be told, but it's an experience that it should be experienced by an individual.
You were in Kigali, and I'm sure you were able to make a mark there in a very short while that you found yourself there. But you have served many years here. You established here in Plateau State. You have spread in Bauchi State. I know that. But then tell us how you were able to hit it big. This short while you went to Kigali, and this many years that you've been here, the story is different. So why is it so? Do they have better eyes to see, or how are we supposed to really appreciate the world that AI is taking us to?
So the first thing there is they have been able to solve the issue of leadership failure in their country. They also try as much as possible to identify talent and then what? Appreciate those talents, support those talents, and build talent. Here in Nigeria, as I said, social injustice is closing the eyes of even leaders who are supposed to govern us right and identify this talent to build. The social injustices have also crippled us in such a way that the voice of the voiceless is not just being heard. It's not being heard, but at the same time again, the door is closed for his voice to be heard because of the structure that these global leaders have put. And so here in Nigeria and in Plateau State, for the voice of the common man to be heard, is either you are close to the people in the center of power, the seat of power, or possibly, you know, maybe your brother or sister is in power before your voice will be heard. But again, the world today is not looking at me knowing you. It's not just about your relationship. It's about what you are willing to bring to the table. Are you solving problems? And so, As you said, for over the years we have been in Plateau State since 2009, established A Plus Computer Training Technology Limited, and with 3 offices here in Jos and 1 in Bauchi State. And we have trained no less than 12,655 and given employment, direct employment to about 220, both remotely and direct jobs. And then we have also provided scholarship to not less than 5,350. But again, this is what we are doing for our community. So when I got the invitation to go to Kigali to be one of the global speaker, opportunity to be there together with other world leaders like Professor P.L. Lumumba on the same table, and given an opportunity for me to speak, and my topic was the African innovation mindset, a case study of the African story. And so my topic basically was so dear to me because I look at from where I'm coming from Plateau State, coming from North Central, coming from Nigeria, looking at the failure of most of our leaders in terms of leadership, in terms of building local talent or supporting local talent for brain export. And then when I get the opportunity, I said, we are not just going to go and begin to speak and then present slides for people to see or pictures, but we must provide an evidence base, because I'm intentional about changing the perspective, not just in my community, but in my state and in my country. And so we documented everything that we have been doing. As I said, the world now is basically about the knowledge economy, and that is what global leaders are looking for. And this knowledge economy is what if our government will be deliberate to invest in the skill base. It mustn't be ICT. We have the fashion industry. We even have the media. What you are doing right now, do you understand? We have people who need to amplify the story, who can be a voice to the voiceless, to people from the underserved community. Like what you are doing. Do you understand? And so when an opportunity was given to me, I presented a video, and the video cut across, despite the social injustice, the leadership failure, and so on and so forth, there's still this African child that is still striving, that does not allow the insecurity, the religious bigotry, and so on and so forth, to weigh him down or weigh her down. Is still pushing, not just for his or her voice to be heard, but again to contribute to the global perspective. And after my presentation, Lord and behold, I got a partnership. And the partnership is big. It's in millions of naira. For me to replicate A Plus Computer Training Technology in Rwanda, in Kigali. And by the grace of God, by ending of next month, all documentations will be done, the business outsourcing and the rest of it will be done. We will be establishing our global office in Kigali. But here in Plateau State, we have a lot of underserved communities. I'm from Pension local government, but I don't want to speak about my local government. I want to speak about some local government. Let's look at somebody coming from Mikang. Let's look at somebody coming from maybe Langtang North or South. A child coming from that aspect. He's gifted. His mother tongue is what he has. If you interact with this child in his own mother tongue, what he will tell you will marvel you. Now all he needs is an opportunity for him, right? All he needs is an opportunity for him or for her to be able to have a platform where he or she can be able to showcase his talent. And we are talking about technology. Can we have a child from Mikang or from Langtang South or Langtang North, from a remote village, that will have access to the internet, will have access to digital skills or creative skills? And the next is what? We'll be able to showcase his talent out there. Unless and until our government are deliberate about investing in the human capital, in the skill base of our youth, it is then that our people can be able to have a voice. And when you have a voice, it will change the perspective of what people feel about Plateau State, of what people feel about the country, and at the same time add value to underserved communities. And then these people from these underserved communities will have a competitive advantage with their counterpart in global in the global world. Just like what I went there as a speaker. I didn't go there with the intention that I'm going to get any partnership. But because of what I've been doing for over the years, talent was discovered and investment was being done. So the question there is, who can now be the voice for the voiceless? KOPPE is not the only one that is doing well. We have a lot of people, plateau young people, who are doing extremely well, but who can be that voice, who can amplify that voice for them to be discovered globally. And once they're discovered globally, there's not just going to be a change, but there's going to be growth and transformation and reformation, both in leadership and also our way of life.
So possibly soon we'll get you, being made the ambassador for Plateau State, and you will now be that bridge through which others can also rise to get to where you are right now. Well, that's just by the way.
Sure. So for me, as I said,
okay.
I am an advocate. I'm an advocate especially for the youth. The youth, for them to be skillful. Because I will tell you today, my heart bleeds every day when I wake up to see my fellow contemporaries and the ones below me. Most of them are graduate, but they are frustrated. They feel the community, the society, the government have failed them. They have gone to the universities, colleges, they are done. There's no job. But again, government cannot employ everybody. But again, they have skill set that they can be able to contribute and add value to themselves. But again, is the enabling environment being provided by the government? And when I talk about government, we have the 3 tiers of government: the national, the state,
federal?
Right, and the local. Can a local government chairman tell me, since inception that they have been on position, how many of the youth, how many of the girls, how many of the women have they been able to reform, transform their capacity? Is it business, which is entrepreneurship? Is it skill? We are talking about renewable energy. Do you understand? And so, because of the negligence, and that's why most of the youth are so engaged in social vices like drug, which to me it is not their fault. It is a failure from leadership. It is a failure from stakeholders.
All right. Now let me ask this question now. So the application of AI, what would it do for our governance? What would it do to our entrepreneurship? What would it do to our schools, our education that we're not tapping from?
Okay, so imagine a government that uses technology to identify problem before they become crisis, analyze data to understand unemployment, improve public service, reduce waste, make decisions based on evidence-based rather than assumption. AI can help government become more efficient and responsible. But we must also be careful. Technology without ethics can create serious problem. We must ask who owns the data. We must also ask, how is personal information being protected? We must also ask, how is technology being used fairly? We must also ask, can citizens trust the system? We must also ask, how do we prevent misinformation and manipulation with the data? This is why I always say, I am not afraid of artificial intelligence. I am concerned about artificial identity. In the age of AI, it is becoming easier to create fake voice, as you said before.
Yes.
Fake image, fake videos, and fake identity. Therefore, digital identity, data protection, cyber security, digital literacy must become a priority. So for me, I want to make this for government to really ensure that people's data are protected. They must invest in digital literacy. And the digital literacy is not just for the youth, even the workforce. Today I'm in PRTV. How many of the PRTV staffs can leverage on artificial intelligence to aid their media communication, to protect the data that they have. This is a media house. I think this is one of the oldest, if not in Nigeria, but at least in northern Nigeria. And a lot of information, of educative information that this station has been passing. It will shock you or surprise you to know that after this, before this communication is done, somebody can be able to leverage on the topic you are discussing, and we're making billions of naira out there. But again, how many investment has the government, the federal government, and stakeholders have they invested? Go to the secretariat. How many of the workforce? So leadership is not just about those who are in the world, who are in position, or who are in the front runners. It is about the people around. A leader only thrives with the right set of people who know what he don't know, people who can contribute to what he cannot contribute to make him to be a better person. And so for us to be able to drive in this artificial intelligence and provide the needed governance, first, our leaders who are in the front line and also the citizens must also align themselves with the technological trend.
Align yourself with the technological trend. Should we embrace it, or even though this sounds elementary, but should we really embrace it or be afraid of AI? I think what's driving us right now is the fear of AI. So are we supposed to entertain that fear when it comes to the usage and application of AI? Just answer this in 1 minute.
Okay. My response is, do not fear AI. Learn it, understand it, use it responsibly. And unless you have been able to understand it, you use it, and then you use it responsibly, then you can be able to solve problems. You can build businesses. You can improve productivity. You can conduct research. You can create jobs, develop new ideas, and serve the community.
Listener, this is Good Morning Plateau. I have been with Chief KOPPE SYLVANUS, a tech expert. We have been taking on discussion on the future of leadership, governance, and entrepreneurship in the age of AI. We have had the first part of the conversation, so we will take a break. When we come back, it will be the opportunity for the listener to also have a say on the conversation. Please don't go away. It is Good Morning Plateau. We're reaching you from the studios of Peace 90.5 FM stereo, Jos. We shall be right back.
Having breakfast, driving, or in the office?
Let us keep you company on Good Morning Plateau, Mondays to Fridays.
Tune in for lively discussions on trending topics and issues that matter most to Plateau citizens.
From politics to culture, economy to entertainment,
we'll dive into the topics shaping Plateau State.
Catch the conversation daily and have your say.
Stay informed, engaged, and inspired with Good Morning Plateau,
your daily dose of Plateau.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome back. This is Good Morning Plateau. We're reaching you from the studios of Peace 90.5 FM stereo, Jos. This morning on the program, where we are with Chief KOPPE SYLVANUS, a tech expert, looking at the topic, the future of leadership, governance, and entrepreneurship in the age of AI. It's that time for you, the listener, to also be a part of the conversation. You can do so by calling the number 08125886048, 08125886048. You can also reach us via on Facebook via Plateau Radio Television Corporation Official. I know it that this program is being live streamed. You can also follow us there to not just listen, but also see what it is like in the studio right now. So go ahead. The lines are open and there is a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, my name is Isaac Iste, the radio speaker from Just East. Good morning, our guest.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to first and foremost appreciate the guest. It shows that he is a tech expert and he is an authority on this in this field. Having had the conversation from the beginning, I think we cannot overemphasize the importance of AI and technology as a whole to nation building. But then I have a concern. Like the guest has alluded to so many issues on this platform, on this discussion. The issue of cyber crime, because most of our youth these days indulge in what we call cyber crime. So you have alluded to the importance of AI, but my concern is the youth. They use this AI to manipulate so many things and then engage in cybercrime. How would you address this as an expert, a tech expert? That is my question. And then I want to know again, there is a course that is being run in some institutions in Nigeria, like our universities. We call it cyber security. I don't know what does it take for one to enroll in that course, and what are the prospects in that course. I would like to know more about that. Thank you very much. Do have a nice day.
Well, Isaac, I'm sure the institutions actually have their requirement. The question, okay, you can also, okay, well, you will get to that. We just pile, and then when you come, we would now take it. Let's get to hear from this caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Field Ambassador Caleb Lamarle from Boys Community School, Gindri Radio Senator.
Go ahead, Caleb Lamarle.
AI is a friend and also is an enemy. And since it's a friend, how can we bridge the gap between the friend and the enemy in order to make the society conducively, both in the class, both in the society, both in the market and political wise? We need to bridge this gap because the enemy is highly giving back to large number of enemies that is counteracting the progress of the AI. So there is need to bridge the gap. How can this enemy and then the friend can be bridged so that we move forward? Thank you.
Okay, I expected that you'd be the one to talk more on what you mean by it's a friend and it's an enemy. But okay, we have an expert, so an expert, I guess, understands you, and they will be able to respond to that. 081-2588-6048 is the number to call. You can also drop your comment on Facebook, Plateau Radio Television Corporation Official. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Pam.
Please tell us your name.
Talking very well.
Tell us your name.
I appreciate your presentation.
Tell us your name.
Calling from Panchi.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I want to put it across that based on what you say, for Nigeria, the Nigerian case, we need more of knowledge economics. And that is the way forward for us. But my question is this. Why is it that our policy doesn't permit knowledge economics at this crucial moment in time? Being one of the experts and one of the public figure in Nigeria, what is your own take and what is your own contribution toward making it in policy that knowledge economic prevails? Then I want to also ask this question that you made mention of the AI vis-a-vis talents and skills, entrepreneurs and others. But when you look at our curriculum, does that actually align with the curriculum? If it is, then fine and good. If it is not, then what do you think, what do we need at the grassroots, particularly primary school, secondary school, so that actually those future leaders, those that we want them to know what is expected, are able to kill in? Then artificial identity, as you said. Artificial identity is very crucial so that we look at what our data is all about, check so that we can have check and balance with respect to how our data flows and what are. But one thing with Nigeria, what I notice is the fact that whatsoever, no matter what it is, they sign a dream, whatever may be the issue of this artificial identity, you tend to find out that there are people that will go and actually go into it, and so much so that no matter what you need to protect the data or whatever, they will all the scammers are always there. In that case, sir, how do we go about to ensure that we protect our data, protect whatever that is? Then last but not the least, those voice of the voiceless, as you said, there are people that are voice of the voiceless because you say the problem with the leadership structure and you say leadership failure. And if that is what we have, year in, year out, government come, government go. Nothing has happened, nothing has worked. Even some few individuals within the government, I'm not blaming them completely, they are doing their best, but we have not gotten tangible results that is expected of us, so that we can align ourselves with Kenyan, as you said. You said Kenyan are going with what is the way forward, so that we actually align ourselves with the Kenyan. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Chris Daniel Tat, for your contribution. 08125886048. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Krankes Kadun.
Krankes,
Calling you from Pushit,
Krankes, go ahead.
aka Majority Leader.
Krankes, go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I want to appreciate our guest this morning for this enlightenment. Keep what they are doing up. But I have a question.
Go ahead. All right. 08125886048. Wilfred Isaac on Facebook is saying, keep on the good work. Bawal Sin Ayuba saying, artificial intelligence is the greatest technology device for development in all ramifications. We should make use of it positively. Okay, Ayuba Bawal Sin Emmanuel is from Bokos. We have Manji David saying, good morning, presenter, sir. What's the biggest mistake business people make when they try to adopt AI too early? We have Comrade Christian Stephen. He's saying, good morning, sir. My question is, what is the percentage of reliability of artificial intelligence that one can trust when adopting it? Okay. That's the response on Facebook as we have right now. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, okay. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. 08125886048 is the number to call, and let's talk. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. It's Radio Mama. Ada Unob calling from Ranchia. I commend your guest. He has spoken very well, especially in reference to Rwanda. That the country is a much to ask me.
Okay.
They had a problem and they went to the root cause of it, the genocide issue, and tackled it. That's why today, if you go there and talk about crime, you even go to jail. You go there, Kigali is one of the richest cities in the world or whatever. So now, what I'm trying to say here is the leadership. Once there is a leadership failure, every other thing that follows it will fail. Even the technology. We're excited about AI and whatnot. What structures do we have in place? The ones, the digital technology we have, they are not working. Look at the phone calls, look at the troubles we used to have, or network issues, job calls and what have you, The stress we used to have to get connected to these programs. It's not funny at all, if you ask me. So that is the problem. So, and if you want to do it, we will start from the primary school. That's how China is a billion plus in population. Us, we are just 200 plus, and we are making a noise. It's crying about our population. The problem with our population is that it is not productive. And a population should be to one's advantage if you use it very well. AI can solve a lot of problems if you have the structure put in place. AI cannot function where there's electric power supply. That's one thing most people don't know. And then if you don't program it well, people will now start abusing it. Yes, because there's that gap. So we have to do something about the way we handle issues in this country. Tomorrow they will tell you they are voting money for digital whatever. At the end of the day, half of that money will go into the private pocket because of corruption. That's Nigeria for you. But all the same, let's not do it for Nigeria. All they are doing.
Thank you very much, Radio Mama from Rantia. We have Mark Douglas on Facebook who is saying, is artificial intelligence, AI, here to pick our jobs away from us? Asking from the teacher's aspect of the profession. Okay, let's take this caller and then we'll come to the guest. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, the guest in the studio.
Tell us your name.
Thank you. This is Monday Kesco calling Pandam.
Monday Kespo from Panyam. Go ahead.
Yes, I sincerely appreciate the effort and the expertise of the guests in the studio for touching lives of Nigerians. That in that amount. But I want to find out. Can he talk to us if of efforts he has made? Because it appears to me that if a person of his caliber is empowered positively by the government, the impact of his expertise will is immeasurable on the life of Nigerian government. So I do not know what effort has been made to be supported or to be empowered by the Nigerian government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, the guest, maybe we'll start from there. What effort have you made to be carried along or to be considered based on your expertise?
Okay, so I think because of time, let me just take, before I come back to his statement.
You want to make this the last point?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So to all those who have spoken, I just put something on ground, because I think it's still tilting to one thing. Artificial intelligence is going to change the world. But the most important question is not whether AI will change the world. The question is, who will be prepared to lead that change? We must prepare our leaders to understand technology. We must prepare our government to use data responsibly. We must prepare our entrepreneur to innovate. And we must prepare our young people with the skill required for the future. For me, the future of AI must not only be about machine becoming smarter. It must be about human being becoming wiser, more innovative, and more responsibly. My message to Plateau State and Nigeria is this: we must not wait for the future to arrive before we prepare for it. The future is already here. And if we invest in our people, build the right skill, protect our digital identity, and use technology responsibly, Africa, Nigeria will not only consume the future, but Africa and Nigeria will create it. So, to the last person who spoke, what have I been doing for me to get this global opportunity? You can fact check on Google A+ Computer Training Technology and KOPPE SYLVANUS Joseph. For over the years, the number I just mentioned, about 12,000 plus that we have trained, and then we have given scholarship to about 5,000 plus. I am coming from a very underserved community. I'm coming from CHIP, from Pension South. It is an environment where there is no internet. It is an environment where there is no light. And so, coming from that kind of environment, I realized that there's need for one to invest in the knowledge economy. And in 2014, I was a civil servant. I resigned, came back to the private sector from Ministry of Land Survey and Town Planning, because I saw that there's a lot of skill gap that our people need to. And so what I've been doing for over the period of time, I have been providing innovative ICT training and mentorship to the young people. And currently, as I speak to you, on the 15th of next month, my community, we're launching the Miship Innovation Hub, where our young ones from the underserved community will have access to internet, will have access to innovative skills, all the skill set training, and at the same time again, their voice will also be amplified through the skill set that we're going to build. And so a lot of people have also raised the issue of policy. I'm not in the government, but again, I'm a stakeholder from the private sector. The highest we can do is for us to be able to advocate for the government or for those who are in power to listen to the call of the people, and for them to be able to listen to the call of the people, all stakeholders' hands must be on deck. And for their hands to be on deck, you must be able to start contributing, no matter how little you can contribute in your own quarter. And that has to do with what? With mentorship. And I did mention on this program that you, the presenter, you have been in the radio station for almost how many years? How many people have you been able to mentor? And then a call to also the parent and the youth. For the parent, encourage your children for them to be able to get the needed skills. Let them find their pathway. The universities, the colleges, most of the curriculum are so extinct that they don't provide, or the graduate does not meet up with the industrial revolution. But one of the things that will help your children to be more relevant in this emerging technology or advanced technological world or space is the skill set that you will be able to encourage your children for them to be able to get engaged. Not just during summer class, summer period, or summer season, but again, even when you have a child that is an undergraduate, let he or she begin to look for a skill set that will be able to add value to him or to her. That is one. Two, for the youth, you must also be able to find a pathway for you to be able to gain mentorship. Look for those who are thriving that you feel you can be able to learn, and then seek for mentorship for you to be able to learn. By the time you seek mentorship, you are going to gain the technical know-how. And when you get the technical know-how, you gain the opportunity for you to be able to expose yourself and then get the platform for you to be able to excel. And then to the university, we must also try by all means, this is to the Federal Ministry of Education with the State Ministry of Education, from the primary school down to tertiary institution. You must also try by all means to also align yourself or seek for synergies and partnership with most of these businesses that are these startups, this innovation hub, these skill acquisition centers that are providing most of this skill set that the world is drifting towards, to see how they can be able to assist in shaping the current curriculum that most of the schools have. I tell you for a fact, currently, I have, I think, about 25 IT students from various universities. And one of the things we have put in A+ computer training technology, if a student is coming, or an IT student is coming to our center, the first thing you do is, yes, you are coming for IT, industrial training. But again, we'll also ask you, in the area of IT, what aspect do you want to specialize? Is it data science? Is it artificial intelligence? Is it cyber security, and so on and so forth? You find your pathway. You register for a course within 2 months, and there are days that you'll be taking that class. Then there are the remaining days of the week you will be learning other extracurriculum activities. By the time you are done with your IT, when you go back to your school, you will no longer remain the same, because for over the years, as I said, most of the students, even the students of computer science, a graduate of computer science, even end users, it is difficult for he or she to be able to operate. And so during the IT, we mandate them for them to ensure that they have that required skill. By the time they go back to the universities or to the school, they become better and become more relevant. They have the skills that their curriculum could not provide. By the time they are done with school, they should be able to fit into the demand of this industrialization. And to the question that one of the caller also raised, he talked about the issue of cybersecurity
and cybercrime.
The cybersecurity itself, it is a technological training where it provides and inform directions on how to safeguard and protect the digital identity of an organization, institutions, or individuals. And so there are a lot of training apart from the tertiary institution. As I said, we have a lot of innovation hub. even within Plateau State. And that is why A Plus now is taking an innovation hub to our community in Chip, where this innovation hub, a child from Chip must not come to Jos for he or she to be able to gain these particular skills. And so it's just passion. You don't need any, as far as you can read and write, there's no skill set that you cannot be able to acquire and become a professional in it. Today, the big tech giants did not study computer science. It is passion, and it is their willingness for them to be able to be innovative and then add value. And so if you have a child, or even you, it is not. No knowledge is waste. You are on the digital space. We have a lot of scammers and so on and so forth. If you are informed, you can never be deformed. It is when you are not informed, then you can easily fall as a prey. Because lack of proper use of this technology will lead to destruction. And that is why I am standing as one of the advocacy, and I want to make myself available. I'm available to provide free advocacy training on seminars, workshop, to church, to mosques, to all platforms. I will provide myself. It's part of my CSR that I can provide to provide sensitization, even people from the grassroots, from the local government to the state level, for people to be able to know what it means for them to be able to protect their digital identity. Because lack of that will also lead to the damage that people are confronted with. And for the government must also, an institution must invest in institution, must invest in partnership, must invest in what? In structures, critical infrastructures, where our youth can also learn these skills, and then people who are also doing well in these skills, in this technological trend, must also avail themselves to provide the right mentorship for our people.
Interesting. All right, we would have to bring this conversation to a close at this point. What would be your final word, even though you sounded more like, finalizing from your last point there? But then let me ask properly, what would be your call to the people? What would be your call you've talked about that of government. I don't know if you have something to still add to that. This is time for you to do that before we leave.
So my call to the government, to Plateau State government and Nigerian government, is for them to be able to deliberately identify talent and seek partnership, not based on because I know you or you know me, but based on the skill set that Plateau indigenous people have. We have a lot of people who know better than what I know, but lack of opportunity for them, for their voice to be amplified. The social injustice that I must know you before I can be on the center of table.
Man, no man.
Very well. So which is very wrong. And so it discourages even people who have the brain that can be able to contribute to the growth of the economy. And to the listeners and to Plateau people, you must not wait for government. Government cannot solve everything. You must deliberately invest in your community, invest in your children, invest in your family. Try by all means to identify that niche where your child perform more. Aside the school curriculum, let them begin to acquire the skill set. We're in the summer period now. Don't just wait till when it is summer. Enroll your child based on what he or she is interested. If the child is interested in fashion, look for the best fashion school and enroll the child. By the time the child from primary school, when he gets to secondary school, before he gets to the universities, if the child is serious, I tell you, before he gets to the university, he will pay his fees. And that is what majority of parents have been doing through A+ computer training technology. And so to the youth, do not wait for you to be called. Look for opportunity and align yourself. Don't just wait for you to be called, because opportunity does not call. You go for the opportunity and you prepare yourself for that opportunity. My doors is open for mentorship. Thank you, and God bless us.
I'll also come. I'm making this confession. I'll also come. So you give me some mentorship too.
It's fine.
Thank you very much, Chief KOPPE Sylvanus, a tech expert for your time with us on the program this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Listener, I'd like to believe that this conversation has been worthwhile. Grab the opportunity that the expert has given. He'll be there to offer that consultancy, he said. All right, so but let's not go with the free part of it. Nothing good is free, and nothing good is free, and nothing free is good. Let me end it that way. On behalf of the executive producer Rita Kacholampam, we have the supervising producer Hudungyang and Esther Nasara. The producer of the program is Inga Samuel, co-produced by Titus Datters. We have the DCA Vina Adams, engineer, or the technical officer actually, Binkat Kargwat. It's actually Kargwak. Yeah, that's it. Then we have the studio manager Lawrence Danat. We have for the ICT Selbol Simon. For the newsroom Mark Douglas. IT students from the Plateau State University Bokos, we welcome you and thank you for your presence around. This is Pamdel saying, do have the very best of the day and make it worthwhile. Good morning, Plateau.